Ho, we're back.
Hello.
Ladies
We are
and gentlemen, roosters and hens and everything else in between. We are Cock Talk. We are back, and we are at 1,000 followers on Twitter. How did that happen?
Yes.
How did that happen? As always, it is myself, Tyler, at MBF Express. We have our producer grinding out long work weekends right now. Give him a break. He's working way too hard. Josh at Grateful Coops, and our man with the tinfoil that's definitely coming tonight with a little bit more, and that's Blake at Waddle Waddle Racing. How we doing tonight, guys?
Fantastic.
Tired. I literally haven't had a weekend. I worked 12 hours both days, Saturday and today, and here I am, ready to talk about some chickens.
Feel sorry for Josh, people, please.
Yeah, no.
He needs it.
This is glad to do this. We got 1,000 followers on Twitter.
How? We did it.
I don't know.
mean, that was first off, thank you guys.
For real.
You know, we appreciate it. What?
Nothing.
Inside joke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, 1,000 followers. We, keep trucking along. We appreciate it, and yeah, I'm excited to see what the next milestone is.
Yeah,
for just that's 100 followers per show. That's some easy math right there.
Blake, you know what the next milestone is? 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, that's still lacking a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a little bit of conversion there.
So we need a little bit of
go on up there and subscribe and like. Just getting started. Yeah. So if you were here last week, we launched a website, coopcollective.io for all your chicken derby news and new articles.
Dave has been pumping out some articles, man.
Yes, he has.
And we got a couple of familiar faces that are going to come out with some more articles as well, from what I hear. So yeah, exciting things coming with the website.
Possibly some new ones.
Will you guys stop with the happy birthday? Yes, I did get a haircut. Leave me alone. I work from home. Starting with the happy birthday again. Swear to God.
Hey, Crypto King.
Fine, they care about
Haircut Club. Come on. What now? They care about you?
Is like week, is it like your crypto birthday? Is it you get age a year in crypto? Is that how this
these
works?
gray hairs are showing it. I'll tell you right now. Yeah. Once Top Shop came in my life, then the gray hairs started coming. So I've been aging by the minute with that.
Oh, for real. I mean, I've known you for probably 7 years now, and it's just funny
getting uglier and older. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You look great, Josh.
Thanks.
Care about my friends.
So yeah, Chicken Derby's just been rolling right along. Love to see that. The old volume's up there at 2.4K ETH traded, up to 5.1K users, new unique wallets. Gotta love to see that.
Yeah. And the floor just is creeping. And the floor is organically a bit thin, which is nice to see again. There's still some nice deals out there sitting here and there. They're harder to find now. We got some big time players that are Snorlax that are always grabbing the ones that kind of drives us crazy. But there's still some deals out there. I actually got a nice deal from Snorlax. There's just a few days ago, a little 97 jetpack. So they're still out there. They're still hanging in, but that bottom floor is thin, and we just need a little bit of a match to fall on this gasoline that's sitting around.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of birds for sale, really, out of the grand scheme of them. It's
there's the first lag.
I think the floor is real thin. Especially on the. What'd you find?
Oh, cheap lag, 0.076. The person who bought it got it for 0.0299.
Are you shopping or are you doing a show? Like, what are we doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at some chickens.
Josh has no money to shop it.
Yeah, I know. I'm not. I have zero money.
Yeah.
Every time a deal gets posted, I'm just like, you want to trade? I can't get rid of these 2 chickens. No. So yeah, we know why you're here. Look at Butterman's putting out some great work as usual, especially if you guys see him, make sure you thank him for his Man,
contributions.
Charts, yeah, thank you. That was the word I was looking for, and I was
we
stuck.
got to get him a tip jar, I think.
Yes, we do. We're trying to figure that out. But so he does a daily chart, and today he sent me a weekly update. And I need to make this just a little smaller.
And there
we go.
These day-to-day charts, with the floor being so thin, it can be a little bit of a
little misleading sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah, they really can be, because you got to dive in there and see, like, all right, how low is it? How quickly is it? When we were going like crazy looking through the marketplace, and I would say, like, hey Josh, I just found this, and then I'd give him the next 4 listings after it, and I'd be like, see, here's how it goes. It goes pretty quickly all the way up to this point, so that's why it actually looks like a decent deal. Like, trying to identify where the walls are on those actually starts to really cut through to find out if it really is a good deal, or if you find yourself just kind of identifying a true market set at the moment.
There were some pretty nice birds sold today. I saw a black and a robot chicken that was bought by somebody today.
That's
actually,
nice.
There's
I
still
think
some
the
big
robot
buys.
was like 1.25 actually. And I noticed
just with the sheer amount of things that are dropping every single day, especially like, we saw crypto dads come out hard, and, everyone jumped into that, and it was like Mechaverse. I think that was another one. There's just so many dropping right now that I am perfectly fine with the way this is still looking. I know we alluded this a little bit. I know not everyone listens to the giveaways, but Josh and I, had a little bit of commentary about how we kind of felt like this is just another wonderful re-entry period for people.
Absolutely.
And it might not last that long. It was that same thing that was thrown out by Apex. It was gradually and then all at once, or gradually and then suddenly. Like these kind of things happens. Aaron Kwan did not like Crypto Dad, says it was a fail. I don't know. I'm not here to judge that project too much, honestly. Some of the artwork, who knows? A lot of hype, that's for sure. We'll see where it goes from there. But that's what's so steady about Chicken Derby, is that we know what we have. It's not flopping all over the place, and people just can't really bring themselves to let ETH, quite frankly, just sit somewhere for too long, because of the way these things are dropping and the amount of people that are just looking to jump in and out of these projects.
Well, and just the gas alone. I mean, on some of these things, I mean, I'm not going to say a name, but I feel like I noticed someone in our chat went and bought one off the market because he was worried about the gas being so expensive. And then, that didn't quite pan out the way he thought it would. And he learned a pretty good lesson. And we're all somewhat, I mean, I'm pretty new to this still. Hell, I don't know much about the NFT space. I mean, I know Top Shot and I know Chickens, and I've read up on a bunch of other ones, but to say that I know anything about them, I mean,
well,
I know Chickens.
Gas, the gas is one of the main reasons I'm solely focused on chickens.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big reason too. And I haven't really aped into anything else other than that I have all my crypto tied up in chickens, but
yeah. And I mentioned this. I mentioned in chat the other day too, or I don't remember what chat, but the way I see it is we've got 2 things coming up. We've got naming, and we've got the start of beta, right? And cosmetics. So really, the airdrop, right? So with those 2 things, I think those are going to see an uptick in the floor slightly. I don't think they're going to see a major bump, but as soon as the beta starts and we start getting an idea of what chickens are going to be, give it a few weeks, I think you're really going to start to see these just skyrocket.
Well, and then we're going to be having the talks about, like, well, do you name your chicken right away, or is it more valuable unnamed?
Right.
Or, because like I tell you what, if I had the chance a year from now to buy an unnamed chicken, I'd probably buy it, because it's not named like turd eater.
Here's my philosophy on this.
Stop telling people my names.
Here's my philosophy on this. I plan on keeping my spicies for a long time. So if you're going to buy a spicy from me, well, you're going to buy it whatever I name it. And it's going to be worth money, because I feel throughout this game that I'm going to treat that chicken right. So that based on how I race and breed them, they're going to have high value. the name, as long as you don't name it something off the wall stupid, I think that names are a name. Those names will live on regardless.
Yeah, off the wall stupid might be okay.
Yeah.
If you start getting forget it. If you get political,
like if you
you're in
name
trouble.
it,
Don't
if you
do
name
that.
it the chicken or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Just like something stupid off the wall, like be creative, but don't try to offend anybody. Yeah. I'm sure the devs are going to put a stop to
but
that.
Anything even somewhat divisive, you guys gotta be careful about, because it's like you're blocking out some people that are just gonna be like, I'm not buying that chick because I don't like what you said about it. So like,
right.
Have fun with it, joke around.
Well, you got to
do something really dumb, you can, but that
goes both ways. I may not want to buy a chicken with a stupid name. Somebody else, a lot of other people may not want to buy. I don't know.
Well, that was funny actually.
What if it's named something? I'm not going down that road. But
what if it's what if it's a stupid name, right? Are we gonna really not buy it if it's a good chicken because it has a stupid name?
There's a bias there. It's tricky.
A little.
The people that are just here to make, I don't want to just be like business decisions, but yeah, the people that are here to make business decisions are going to look at a name and just say, whatever, I don't care. All I care about is the ROI of this thing. But even at this point right now, and not to put him on blast, but Butterman, I think he actually threw it in the live chat. He got his first Serama today, and he was looking at him, and he saw one for points. I think it was 0.7, but the floor for 93s was 0.6. And I'm like, so why the extra 0.1? He goes, I just like the way this one looks better. I'm like, all right. I mean, I can't fight you on that. He goes, I just like these eyes. I like these eyes better than these ones. I like this one. This one works for me. Like, I get it. So
hey, that's an investment, man. You want it to look the way you want it to look.
So you just don't know how much these little things could affect, as we start going through.
And ultimately, right now, I see that as more of a logical thing because it's a shot in the dark right now. Anyways, we don't know. I, however, think if he knew that 0.6 was a better racer than the 0.7, he's not buying the 0.7 because it's pretty.
That's true.
Or because his name is whatever, right? I mean, it's harder for me to think of stupid names. But maybe. But I mean, and I don't know. So I think that naming is going to increase the value more than it will decrease the value.
For the most part, yes.
And it will be interesting just to see what they exactly like. Do they let us? Can you breed a chicken that's not named? Can you race a chicken that's not named?
That's a good point.
Do you have? Is that like the registration, if you will, of how exactly that chicken is now?
Is it still a chick? Is it still a chick until it's named?
Well, right. The question is, can you even bring it into your coop until it's named? So you may log into the chickenderby.com when it's up and running, right? The first screen may be you to enter your coop name and yada, yada. And then it may say chicken 1, 2, and you name your chickens right there.
Yeah.
It may not let you go to the next. It may be forced.
Butterman got him for 0.625 threw an offer at him. Nice work, bud. There you go.
Hey.
Full prices for suckers like me.
Snipe. So yeah, here's why we're all here a little bit. Here's a weekly floor update from Mr. Butterman. As you can see, the Seramas have tapered off a little bit. I was seeing some chatter that Cuppy was dumping some, but they're
inevitable.
Inevitable. Yeah. That just means new people can jump in and buy these Seramas cheaper than they could have 2 weeks ago when they saw them and they're like, oh my God, they're like almost 1 ETH.
Happened again. I sold a chicken and it went to a wallet. It was the first chicken that was in that wallet. So it's cool to see. Like, still, I don't know if it's a new user or a new wallet, but I'll take it. I like seeing that.
Absolutely. Sultans, man. I'm not going to say the D word because then you'd have to drink. But yeah, they're still right there. Lackenvelders holding up on there's still a little separation over these dorks, 0.65. Lack's almost up to 0.08. It's looking pretty
I saw that there was hundreds that were Dorkings and hundreds that were Lackenvelders that were still basically the same price. Like the 100 was still setting that market instead of the Dorking or the Lackenvelder, which is strange. That's that just shows how immature and young the market is. and how much we still need to work all this stuff out, because I know
there
that
aren't very many more dorks than lax, though. It's only 3,800.
Right, but it is something there. But I guess at this point we're still with it. When you're looking to sell a 100, you're just trying to get it to sell. That's kind of the frustrating thing there. But that's all right. I know a lot of people just have a different plan, a different way of going about things, and a different way of setting up their coop. So if selling 100 does that for you, that's fine. It's no shame.
No, not at all. And as you can see, as everything else has been coming down in the last few weeks, as everything, there's just not much going on. It's the wait period, and this baby's just going to be a wave of up and down for a little while until we see some beta racing, and then get your moon boots, I'm sure.
Yeah. We got 3 weeks until the beginning of October, basically.
Look at this gap right here. You can still get a 96 for under 0.01. The gap between a 96 and 97 is 0.04. That's a pretty large gap. And then the rest, 97, 98, 0.07, 6.5. Yeah. The gaps are starting to come back down a little bit, but I ain't worried. You worried?
No,
I don't think there's much to be worried. I actually feel like
my chickens are worth double. The floor is worth double from what we've started with.
I know I'm being stupid.
I'm sitting golden.
Yeah, I still believe that we're just sitting in a nice little calm pocket here that I'm happy to.
Quiet before the storm.
The calm before the storm. That's very much. Yeah, I really feel like this whole September is basically just going to feel like we're just kind of waiting in the water, hanging out, going with the tide a little bit, and then the surge hits. And when the surge comes, I hope you're not too far out. I hope you're ready to make your move whenever that time is. That's the old adage. Buy the rumor, sell the news. And when the news hits on this stuff, it's gonna be way too late. You're gonna be scrambling a little bit. So get your coops lined up. And that's another thing. There's a lot of us that just kind of like our coops now. I have 19 birds. I'll probably have 20 by the time closed beta starts, and I just take anything that I have sitting over in ETH and transfer it over and buy one more thing. But a lot of us just kind of like what we're sitting at, because a lot of us are in that 8 to 20-ish bird range, a big bulk of who we are sitting in that range. And a lot of the people are just waiting for a moment they can grab something that'll be like their third or their fourth bird that's a little more special.
Here's the thing that I can't get my head around for some reason, and I don't know, maybe you guys can explain, but the uncommon floor is all over the place, almost near the floor in some cases.
It is, yeah.
And like helicopter is 0.09, blue egg, which is rarer than the other uncommons, is 0.095, and dig and jetpack have dropped almost down to the floor.
Because they're basing it right now off perfection ahead of talents. And that's what's causing a lot of this. I think once racing starts, and again, it may be like this for a while, because at the beginning of beta, we're not even going to get talents thrown in, right? So
not until January, I believe.
This isn't
what the roadmap said.
Yeah, we'll be.
This is an opportunity, though, for those new people coming in to target something that really is a little bit off kilter, I think, right? So just because it's a 94, if it has an uncommon, that should make it better than any other 94 that doesn't have as good of a trait, a talent.
Well, that's the thing. That's where I did a lot of my early work, if you will, was just noticing that these uncommons were sitting very much near the floor of where the prospective perfections were and whatnot, and based on whether it was a Lackenfelder or a Sultan in that regard. And I got to the point where I have 8 of my 19 are uncommon, and then I have 5 rares. And I just was like, talents to me for a long time, and still in some regard, feel like there's a disparity there. Like we don't quite know what they are yet. We don't quite know how they're going to affect. So the perfection score, and of course, a lot of the traits, a lot of the things that you can see, like vampire teeth, like nose rings, like eye patches, like different base colors and stripes. You can see those things, so they're a little bit easier to look at and jump at. They're also easier to buy. When you see something with a stripe or a candy comb or orange will or a white beak, you can see it without having to click on anything. In order to really find out what these are, you have to be searching properly or jumping into properties and seeing, that's what happened to me. I saw a Jetpack 97 at 0.145, and it was the floor of 97 uncommons. So it's like, that Jetpack usually doesn't sit there. So it looked like Snorlax was making a move somewhere, or just moving along like he normally does, and I grabbed it. And it worked out well for me. And I think Butterman grabbed the one that was sitting just above it
and raising the floor. Absolutely.
And like I said, once racing starts, I think you're going to start to see the market make a little bit more sense when it comes to the talents as well.
Well, here's the thing. Like, if these things truly are random and they are only a couple of them per race and there is no weightedness to them, I mean, I would try and get more of the uncommon. And I mean, they're compared to the rares, it's crazy how cheap they are. They're almost 2/3.
And that's still very much, what I've done and what I've thought about doing is just, if I can't get myself into the game where I'm getting myself high 90s, then I'm making sure that if I do get if I'm going to get a 93, I'm going to make sure it has several different things that makes it better than that. Okay, it's a rare, and it's an orange will, and it's a white beak. It's like I have 3 different things there that set me apart from all the other 93s, 94s, 92s in that range. So if orange will does something, if the white beak does something, and of course we know Devolution's going to do something, now I feel like I'm setting myself apart from the other 93s that are just straight 93s that are going to end up in the same pecking order or in the same class as me.
You know what I think happens with that bird? I think he's an A-level bird.
It might be, honestly.
And I think those are the, while we're talking about pecking order, I think you're going to see those really good, with multiple, 2 and 3 and plus rarities on their traits that are going to be in the A level.
I think it's very possible. Yeah.
At least, I mean, maybe until we start to have more birds into the ecosystem, but I'm curious to see how many of those top end birds get ran right out of the gate. How many hundreds are there going to be on the tracks?
Oh, I'll be itching to get my highest perfection birds out there just to see
what
they can
will.
Do. Oh,
I think we've already discussed, but I've seen a lot of chatter in the chat about maybe not going to run some birds, which, hey, the less birds that are out means the more that I'm going to figure, our end out.
If they want to hold out on racing their top perfection birds, by all means do it. And then if they want to jump in at the right, I guess that's more of a strategy thing. They let everybody get their pecking order built up so their classifications jump up, and then they jump in, and it's easy money.
So yeah, you definitely got to do some.
Right?
Am
I wrong?
Not necessarily. Well, not. It depends on the level of the bird, because right now that 100 is already at a 59. So,
but what if they hold it long enough for the pecking order to adjust, or they can actually come out with different?
It's still at 59 though, right? 59 is always still B, right? From 50 to 59, or is that right? Or from 40 to 50, either way.
40 to 50
still
to
class
59
B.
to 3, yeah.
Yeah,
They're all
so
class B, yeah. It's just
so
the top and the bottom, so
it's always
going to
be
get out
class
of,
B.
yeah.
So if you hold your bird, let's say for a year, you're going to race him the first time a year from now, and he's going to be a 59 in class B. He goes out right out of the gate and wins that first race. He's instantly an A.
Do we know that though? I don't think we know that.
Well, I mean,
I think that was written. I think that was written in the pecking order.
I don't know if it's going to be
one, applied.
Like 1-to-1 ratio
1-to-1.
there, or
I don't know if it's going to be 1-to-1. It might be he comes out and wins his first 4 races and gets moved up. But my point is he's not going to be in B very long. So if his plan is to stack up money and race and dominate the B level that he's holding out for, he's going to very soon be up in A with the big guns. You see what I'm saying?
No, yeah,
so
I get you.
I think that holding theory, I think, is not going to pay off. I mean,
did they say something about the classifications changing, like the ranges? Were those numbers? I thought I saw something that said that those numbers weren't exactly set in stone, and that because like what's past 60, you just go to 100. I mean, 60 to 100, like that would almost have to adjust over time, right?
Well, okay, here's what we're looking at. This is important. As I figured, let's jump back to it, and sometimes it really is just smart to go right back to the tutorial and take guidance from there, and then move on. They have it specified here. If it is an unraced bird, it is a chick. So I'm not sure if that just means that. I'm not sure if that means that the chicks that will be unraced don't start out with anything, or how that works there.
Right, because ours already have a PO. All of our birds already have a PO. So I think that.
But is that just what they'll assume once you do your first race? Like once you do your first race, then they get it and it begins.
I think the chick is what it says.
Yeah. So
I think it's going to be for the born birds.
More than likely. I think you're right on that regard. So what it says here is each chicken is given an amount of POP, pecking order points, when hatched, based on its perfection and stock. After a race, your chicken will gain or lose POP based on its finishing position, gaining if it does well, losing if it does poorly. So it seems like
that doesn't mean a full point, though.
No, it doesn't. So it all comes down to just exactly how that goes. And this is the kind of stuff that through beta is going to be tested and worked out. Right. So anything you put too much stock in this regard, you might be doing a little bit of fool's gold. I've seen a lot of people that are like, I've been buying 93s, 97, like the top ends of each one. So 93s or 96s, 90, and then of course, 100s you're not going to get to, but because they believe that they're going to be at the higher level early on, but we don't know how that's going to shake out. We don't know how long that's going to last. Like Blake was saying, you could jump really quickly.
Well, and here's something else.
It's a bit of a fool's errand to be doing too much of that.
Well, here's another thing too, because if your bird finishes third, do you move up? Is that a point? Do the top three finishers, like if you finish in a medal position, is that what triggers the bump up? And if it's non-medal position, so if you're,
or is it every single position gets some based on a decimal point jump up and down? Exactly.
I would like that.
Yeah, I would too, because that way you're not just sitting stagnant. That way it's like, my bird is finishing 4 over and over again. Maybe it has, but then again, if it's finishing 4 over and over again, hopefully you kind of want it to stay relatively stagnant, because you need to get yourself out of that 4 spot, because
4 maybe is
worse
0.
than 4. Yeah,
5 might be minus 0.25.
Yeah,
6 might be minus 0.5. And there's going to be a 0 point in there. Obviously you don't want your bird to finish 4th every time, stay stagnant, and not win any money.
No,
that would put that bird on the market.
Right. And what I see here from like Michael
put it in
Clark
races
is like,
it's not good at.
Michael Clark saying here, this the idea, if you don't want to, you need to see some kind of incentives in these top classes, so you don't see people racing in their non-preferred distances to derank and sandbag. And that's a big thing, to make sure we're not sandbagging, to make sure that there's not a way that, and hopefully the pecking order points is reactive enough where even if you do sandbag, okay, maybe you sandbagged for, a game or two, or a race or two, and then
I hope it costs you to sandbag.
That'd be nice too. Yeah.
Like if you don't win,
it's going to cost you ETH.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you, exactly. But if you drop down into a different category, like maybe your consistency takes a hit. You know what I'm saying? Right. So consistency is a factor too that we don't touch on, and we
don't even know anything about it yet. They haven't even touched on it.
Yeah.
Maybe if you drop down,
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of the same thing we keep pushing over and over again, is just to diversify, keep your mind open to a change that may come. Don't put too much of anything in one section, because then you might find yourself just out in the cold or having an issue there. You might hit a home run too. And if you're here to gamble, then, more power to you. Go ahead and take your shot. And if you have conviction on something, you really feel like you figured something out, that's great. But, we're definitely here to like sift through all of this as we learn it. That way we're not really advocating anything that could really throw you off, and it's keeping you on your toes. And it's just one of those nice things to know you have your bases covered in several different ways.
Yeah, I mean, and just to kind of piggyback off that, I mean, we're doing this in real time. When we think of these things, like, we honestly don't know. We haven't raced just like everybody else. So
we're spitballing usually.
I mean, I'm talking out of my ass half the time. I mean, it is, but I think talking about these ideas and bringing up these ideas, you never know when you're going to hear a little nugget that turns on the light bulb. It's like, oh, That's a good thought. In fact, Tyler brought up something the other day about eyes. You want to get into the tinfoil?
Oh, the eyes. We pulled the tinfoil hat out.
Do we have a sounder yet?
I'll get some crinkled up tinfoil recording for you.
But yeah, it was this basic idea that instead of the eyes, especially the base eyes, having some type of like actual change on the way that the race outcome actually it finds its way. It's more of just like the early dynamic to start off a race. How they like if they're exhausted eyes, maybe the opening sounder wakes them up, and then they like shake it off, and then they charge up, and then they catch up with everybody, or something silly happens like that, where it's more of a cosmetic fun thing than anything.
You said that, and which gets me thinking, right? Because again, I think that each one of the traits that we can see in OpenSea are going to be different than the airdrop cosmetics. Airdrop cosmetics have nothing to do with the game. That's been specified, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if they have nothing, that tells me that anything that we do know that's in the game right now does have potentially something to do with it, right? So I think that the eyes may be your chicken's personality. So in a sense. So I think not only is it going to kind of like how in horse racing, like you can see a lineup of horses going up to the gates. One of them's all calm, docile. The other one's like prancing around. Then one's like jumping out of the, there's all different personalities, right? I think these could have gate personalities. And what I mean by that is maybe the cross-eyed bird just comes out of the chute and just runs zigzags for the first 10 yards
in his lane, like serpentine.
Or it's random, right? It might be random. Maybe he goes off straight sometimes. Maybe he goes to the right and bounces off the lane,
Mm-hmm.
Or the beauty just prances out there like,
Yeah, I think it's all going to be ways to make it fun, to make it marketable, to make it, something that grabs someone's attention when they pop in. I don't think that the base eyes or any of the base coats are going to differentiate your power or breeding, beyond just the fact that you might like the way something looks better. Like I just like the fierce eyes. I like the stoner eyes, the determined eyes, the beauty eyes, and the tired eyes, the stoned eyes. Let's call it what it is. I just like the way those look better. I hate the exhausted eyes. I don't have a single one just because I don't like it. I think it looks horrible for me. So I just don't have any.
The wonky eyed ones bothered me right away, but they're growing on me. Those could be possibly the best racers. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Unpredictable. You don't know what they're gonna do.
Right.
I think cross-eyed just falls flat on his face.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe it runs the wrong way.
Maybe.
Because, hey, if teleport can make your chicken go the wrong way, possibly. Because doesn't it say that it could advance your chicken either forward or possibly have a negative? I'm pretty sure it said that it could have a negative.
We're gonna have to
the teleport said it had two different animations. It was either you were going to teleport forward and a new one would show up teleported, and the one that's like would just be sitting there, so two of your chickens would be on the screen at one time, and the other one would just kind of fade away because it realized that one just went there. And the other one I think was like a failure where like something blows up and then it teleports. So
somewhere
one way,
else.
yeah,
but you're still going forwards both ways. It's not going to shoot you backwards.
I didn't specify that. I can't remember that. Was that in the chat, Tyler, or was that that was talking? Oh, that was when he dropped the animation page of what he was handing out the animators.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like I remember that.
Your talent. I don't know if the talent's going to have a negative effect. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't think it will. No, I don't think it will either. But I think it's just like that was just like a fun way to show that they want to.
It would be cool to see multiple animations for the talents, though.
That would be cool.
Like to see, or maybe if you had like a retro animation, like if it was stuck with your chicken, so like the next generation or down the line, it's a different animation. You had like a retro, like first gen animation on your bird. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be.
Dig that.
I just think it's kind of pretty. We don't know yet the full effects of all of these talents, right? Or what they're going to do. And I think someone, Akita in the chat was speculating that possibly, certain things could happen when a talent gets deployed. Like if Black Hole sucks in a chicken of a higher perfection, that it could boost your chicken a higher perfection than your chicken, that it would boost your chicken's perfection up a little bit, or if
maybe a coding nightmare,
chicken,
maybe just an awesome idea.
Or if a chicken that has a lower perfection gets sucked in, that it lowers your points. But those are the kind of things that are fun to like put your obviously we put the tinfoil hats on, so that's fun when those get thrown out there. And
as the game develops too, I could see maybe something like that happening down the line, once they are able to get the actual talents up and running, then maybe they can start tweaking them. And you all right?
I'm just trying to figure out what's this promo code you just.
Don't worry about that. You focus on the show. Just focus on the show, Josh.
What are we doing?
I take care of the live chat. Listen.
Well, at least you're not eating this time. My God!
I had it ready right there.
Stop it!
No, I'm not going to stop.
Ron, stop.
I've already turned on Element Alliance to these things.
Dude.
He bought like a truckload. I told him he's not going to be sad. The only thing that's going to be sad about it is that he didn't take care of the promo code I just dropped in the live chat.
Are you selling out?
I'm not selling out. Shotwell's just a friend of mine.
All right.
And these are delicious candies.
It's a pretty specific promo code to not be selling out.
It's not that specific, is it?
Okay.
They are damn
20.
good. Thank you, Marcus LaFleur. I told you they are good.
Sheesh.
I wouldn't shill something that wasn't delicious.
Well, stop eating. So we
got. I'm not showing you another PFP project. At least you can eat this.
That's true, I guess.
# Caramel Collective.
Oh my goodness.
Does that work when you say it out loud? I don't think it even works when you type it on Twitter, quite frankly.
So the devs dropped their weekly dev blog, and it was I don't know, it wasn't quite what everybody was expecting, I think, but
we're always on pins and needles waiting. I mean, we think big news is coming any moment. So when it doesn't blow our heads off, there can be a little bit of a letdown.
You got to realize there's a ton of work to go into something like this. Like even right away, he leads it off. We're finalizing the GUI for the front end and polishing everything to get it as smooth as possible. Once this is done, we'll start full quality check and then do some edge case testing to make sure it works on all browsers and mobile devices. That is huge. And everything that is user friendly. Who doesn't want a user-friendly game? It's no fun to play something that's hard to figure out or is complicated, That's the best part about this is it's going to be mobile. It's going to be user-friendly. That is amazing. Love to see that.
And all that stuff that they've been working on to get the data off the back end and onto a more sustainable platform that we're going to see. We see that marketplace. We see that we have our own spot to check in every day, and we no longer have to just fight through the problems that OpenSea drops on us all the time. It's going to be exciting. It really is, especially if it's tokenized. Who knows? There's a lot they can do with it.
Absolutely. I mean, it just opens the door to so many things. I mean, you think about the games that people pump in money into for coins, like on Clash of Clans or Golf Clash or any of the other mobile games that you can just connect your credit card to and just link up and click away and realize you just dropped $700 on, on stuff
Papa Johnny. I want to race my chickens while using the bathroom at work. That is the goal.
Hey.
Listen, you are not shooting. You're not shooting for the stars landing on the moon. There, you are heading out of the galaxy with that move. That is exactly what we're all trying to do right here.
Orbit.
Exactly what we're all trying to do. Trying to lose $100 in 5 minutes while taking a.
Yes. The next cool news here is the logic behind the airdrop has been sorted out, and now we are waiting for the developer to finalize the snapshot script so that we can move forward with the airdrop. So, like we kind of predicted a little bit, they took a snapshot of everyone's wallets.
Does it say they've already done that, or
yes, that's already been done? It looks like. The logic behind the airdrop has been sorted out, and now we're waiting for the developer to finalize the snapshot script.
That's why
So
I don't think it's been done yet.
I thought I saw something earlier that he said that it had been done, but
I imagine
from what that says, it does not look like it's been done.
Here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to come out like maybe, let's say, I'm just throwing out a date. Let's say they come out on Tuesday. I think they're going to announce that they're going to take the snapshot on Thursday. That gives new people that are waiting to get in a chicken time to buy a chicken.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic to decide what to do there.
Because I think it's going to be one for one.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, I think, what wallet you send it to. I think it's going to be one cosmetic for one chicken. So I think if you look at all the pre-race videos, every bird has a cosmetic, So I think it's going to be 1-to-1 right out of the gate.
That is the fun way to do it. That is the interesting way to get everyone feeling like they're doing something at this point. Even if it's like, okay, we're not going to have talents to start off. That's a bummer, but we're going to be able to customize chickens. You're going to be able to put your chicken out there the way it is. You're going to be able to, I think you're going to be able to sell and buy these, right?
The individual cosmetics. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
absolutely. And they might not be that expensive, but
no,
you'll be selling something here. You'll be trading them. Like they said in there that they're hoping for a trade mechanic at some point, right?
Yep.
As well. Yeah.
Yep. And auction, some kind of auction place in the metaverse, which we'll go over here on the tutorial here in a second. But what I was just going to bring up, Rock Legend Punks in the chat says, I hope they allow people to pay with a credit card like OpenSea. I don't use it, but it's been great for me bringing on new people who don't know anything about crypto. Yes, absolutely. If they get that set up with a credit card on a mobile app, we're going to be on Mars.
Yeah, for real.
That's 100% what Top Shot did. They let you buy into the platform with credit cards. With credit cards. So it can be almost a lot of people's way into this entire space as well. Especially when you start dropping the marketing arm. And, I saw, Elven Alliance say a few things about how just like, don't worry about their plans. They got some creative, fun things that they're going to be putting out there to get this to go mainstream when the time is right. And, they want to have this thing humming, but before that happens, they want to make sure that when this is something they go, hey, we're putting it out there, it's a finished product. And that's what we're here for. We're here to, there's going to be some bumps in the road, and that's going to be a tough thing to deal with here and there. But being this early, I think the dividends are going to be obvious.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you just got to be patient. Like I said, even though the month of September's had the lull, we are so close to some news. Like every week, it just makes us more antsy, But yeah, I think that the chickens are looking up when it comes to I think they're just we just got to be patient. Any minute we're going to get notification on the naming and then the cosmetics, I think, as well. Which do you guys think comes first?
I think the airdrop probably comes first.
Before naming?
Because I think naming. I think
they're
naming,
both coming really soon.
But can you? And I don't know how Zed is, but where do you name your horses in Zed? Is it within Zed's website or is it on OpenSea?
Well, see, that's the thing. I think you're going to have the platform.
That's
what
I'm
properly.
thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Even if it is just an extension of the current BitLoveandCom that they have. BitLoveand.com, but I know they said they wanted to where you can go kind of look at your chickens, and that's where we also where pecking order is. That's like the only spot you can see pecking order is at that gomint.bitloveand.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they want something that is literally its own entity. So I think getting that will be a big part of it. That's, to me, like to a layman, that sounds like a more difficult thing to do than just dropping.
So Dane G just said it's on Zed, not OpenSea, and you cannot race your horse until you name it.
There you go.
That's very good. So
go ahead.
You're
not going to be. That answers kind of the question. Is you're not going to be able to name them until chickenderby.com is live,
probably,
or whatever
whatever it is, whatever iteration is of that. Yeah. So which leads me to believe cosmetics is first.
To move on to more through the dev blog. They've hired 2 more people to the team to help with the visuals, development, better use experience. Gotta love to see that. They just keep hiring people. It seems like they hire a new person every week since they've been doing these blogs, I feel like. They hit 5,000 plus unique wallets, 15,000 Twitter followers. Love to see that. Really promising. He says here, I know everyone is waiting for more Easter eggs and visuals. Next week, we'll be getting to more and more visuals completed, so I'll make sure that everyone here will get to see them first. Also, closed beta is 1 month from Friday. Last Friday, by the way. Time really goes fast. You guys ready?
So is that him giving us
You're
a date?
muted, Tyler. Can't hear you.
Is that
first time? That's the first time I've been muted doing this.
God.
So many more times on the old show.
Why don't you eat some more caramel?
Is that him giving us
I
a
have
date?
one more of these bourbon ones. One more. These delicious bourbon ones. I have
I
one
guess you
more.
better use that nice promo
Make
code
me
you
eat it.
dropped to buy some more.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Sorry. Anyway,
But as I was saying, is that him giving us a date?
Pretty much.
it's pretty close.
saying-
Yeah.
I would
Now,
say that's
October
as
the
close
10th.
to a date that I've ever seen. 1
October the
month
10th is a
from
Sunday.
now. You don't say
Yeah.
now unless you mean right now.
October the 10th is a Sunday.
Yeah.
Be a good day to drop it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, we're gonna go over the.
Might have to take the week off after. Just raise some chickens.
We are gonna go over the tour or the roadmap a little bit here. If I could get
Right.
this pulled up,
I think it's a
And
good
we're just
idea
Gonna read
just to-
through it because it's got some great dates and stuff that we've kind of overlooked, really, and it kind of lets us know when this stuff is gonna be happening. So let's see, where is the roadmap? Right here. Phase 1.
Yeah, Josh and I were just kind of looking this over a little bit, and we were just like, this might need just a little bit more onus again to see exactly where we are right now, where we're
Exactly,
sitting, and
just
where we're
to-
going.
To calm the masses a little bit of just how early we really are to this. I mean, and listen, this really does read like a under promise over deliver. Am I saying that right, Tyler?
Right.
Yeah.
Under promise, over deliver.
Okay.
It's kind of been their
Right.
MO
MO.
so far. Yeah.
So phase 1, launch a private beta for early adopters only, include layer 2 integration for gasless transactions, estimated launch date October 2021. Well, that is 1 month from now. That's right on track. I mean, we're right on track, and you'll love to see that. So phase 2, hatching. Open beta will allow more races. Chicken talents implemented. Each chicken talent has a special talent they can use during a race to help them win and making viewing more exciting. So we kind of see when talents will get introduced. We hope that they are sooner than that, but maybe they want to perfect them to the point to where they look absolutely amazing, and I am A-okay with that.
Right. And there may be some issues as we start. I mean, I have to imagine there'll be some things that pop up here and there, and if these races have some ETH attached to them, there may be some situations where there's refunds or credits or something, because there's going to be some tough times in early going. But but it seems like they're just they're so particular about the way they want to release this, which is just the way it should be.
Yeah, they've been very, very methodical about it all, and I think that's that's been their MO too the whole time I've been around. I've been here since the very, very beginning, early days. They are transparent. They come out every week. They let us know what they're doing, and they make sure that everything is to the T. So that's. I don't see any difference
this
from
is
it.
not their first rodeo,
Right.
people. They've made a game that is very popular and has been downloaded by a 7 million plus people, and it's still on the App Store if you wanted to go get it. I mean, they know what they're doing. It's not their first time doing something like this. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like you feel a little more trust in that, and they've certainly showed us, and even myself personally, just they've over delivered on a lot of things, and
Yeah.
I am surprised at least once a week when I read something and I'm just like, yes, this game just is fucking gonna be awesome.
And on that note, just to go off on a quick little tangent, because I think it's really something worth touching on. In a video that Crypto Poppy did with Benjamin and Apex, they were talking about Ganja Farmer, and they were talking about how they would notice, whales of sort, big money people would come through, and they would spend a ton of money in about 2 weeks, and then never see them again. They would just come through, unlock basically everything that there is to unlock, get all the perks, become a big spender, play the game for about a month, and then they're gone. And they always thought that was one of the weirdest things that they'd see. Now, there's a lot of people just have money and waste time and don't know what to do with that money. Just look at the NFT space. A lot of people
got ETH they don't know what to do with.
Yeah, and now this is when you actually go to dollars and cents and credit cards and ease of access on app stores. Like, you get these people that come in and they just unload, and then they also have their people that they know how many people are subscribing each month, and they put out the different kind of packages to try to keep you coming back, and how many people are spending in general. But Apex's main thought was just like, how do we get that guy to stay? And that was really what it came down to. It was like, we can get that guy to stay if when they dump that money in, they can get something out of it besides that's more than just intrinsic. That's more than just like, we're here to have some fun. It's like, no, you're here to do something a lot bigger than that.
I had a similar thought about this the other day, actually, because I was thinking, what you're actually talking about is somebody that's just lost interest in the game. I think, what about if somebody loses their wallet or and we've got a bunch of chickens that are tied up in somebody's lost wallet. I was thinking that if there was a mechanism that if a bird hasn't been touched for X amount of time, that a random bird escapes the coop and runs into the breeding house, so that at least you can't race that bird, but its genetics get populated into the game.
That's interesting because you don't want the spices. There's only 33,333 seems like a lot.
Imagine if Cuppy lost his wallet.
Yeah.
Imagine if Cuppy lost his key.
That is not a small problem if that ever did happen. Yeah. Right. So it's an interesting concept there. Yeah. That's, if I were, again, layman, but if I were running this game, I'd be like, that's something I'd be a little worried about, is you don't want to see all that bloodline just lost.
But it would also add interest to the game. If you had a random, like, we're going to have a lot of birds. There might be a bird in our coop that we forget about and haven't touched. What if randomly it gets out of the coop and all of a sudden you're like, damn, my bird just bred with one. What? It would keep that genetics in the game.
Here.
Yeah. And it would keep people from just sitting on birds.
So to keep it going,
just touch one thing from the chat. Alex Nichols said they're a little far behind, so they wanted to check in. Is this something that they'll be putting on an app or just a web browser capable on mobile? The latter is what they're going for first. They're going to be making sure that you can be web browser capable. The big goal, the big long-term goal, is to turn this thing into an app. So, but there's all kinds of things with the App Store. Apple just got sued and had to change the way that they actually run their stores. So there's a whole lot of things in flux about exactly how they're allowed to do that. So this is an ever-changing space. So we'll see. Long term, they want an app, but for starters, I believe it's going to be a web browser.
I agree.
So to keep going on this tutorial here, Phase 3, Chick. The launch of our private auction system to help users buy and sell chickens breeding implemented. The estimated launch date is April 2022. This is what I was talking about earlier when I saw this in the roadmap of a private auction. I mean, that sounds pretty cool to be able. I mean, I'm assuming it'd be just like an auction farm. Take your chicken to the auction place and people. How funny would it be in game if you could do a live auction with your chicken and you actually get like an auctioneer going, how many now, not 25 over there, but I got everybody over there, that 35.
Hey, you do that pretty good.
Yeah.
When it's just gibberish, he's great.
Pretty much. I'm good at doing that.
That's all it is anyway.
That's all they do anyway.
Gibberish machine over here. Phase 4, Chicken. Additional race events to keep things exciting implemented. Customization is implemented, allowing you to style your chicken how you like. Jeez, I had a brain fart there. Estimated launches July 2022. See, we've already been talked to about airdrop stuff.
Here's what that may mean. You may not be able to swap too, but you may not, once you put your hat, let's say you get a Viking hat and you put it on a bird, you may not be able to swap them initially. Is that like they might be fixed to that bird for a period of time. I don't know.
Well, that's the one thing I'm curious on is if you could get airdrop these cosmetics and you attach them to a bird, are they stuck on that bird forever?
Well, that's
or can you move them to another bird or move them freely within your coop to
it says customizable. Right. So at some point you're going to be able to customize them. However, that doesn't sound like it's going to be initially. So that's kind of what I'm thinking is when we get these hats or necklaces or scarf, whatever they are, and you put them on a bird, are they stuck? I think they're at least going to be stuck until the customization option is available.
Yeah.
There might be a period that you have to hold it on there. You have to wonder about how it changing every single time. Obviously that's going to be a coding thing where they have to figure out, is it something you can just swap in and out really simply?
Well, I don't know. Yeah. You might be able to, because then if they're stuck on a chicken, that means you couldn't sell it. Or could you sell it? I don't know.
You could sell the chicken and make the chicken more expensive because it's got a Viking hat or a Spartan hat on. Or
that'd be interesting if you could, if that was something you could put on there and be like, hey, I'm selling this with the Viking hat.
Yeah.
Or not, So
like you alluded to last episode, Blake. Well, what if you had a rare chicken and you put a rare cosmetic on it? That makes that chicken even more rare. So
that's right.
I mean, there you go. Phase 5, Rooster, fully funded. We fire up the marketing machine, increase the race pool to allow for more races. So that right there tells me it's going to be probably small race groupings to get going. I don't know. I hope it's not like can't get into any races. I hope there's plenty enough. I mean, I would assume that once they had the number of early beta people, they could ratio out the races to accommodate for everybody.
Well, there's going to maybe a cool down period of them.
You can only race one chicken
every 24 hours
day. Yeah, that makes sense. Additional customization options, add race highlighting, and airdrop our exclusive token.
There it is. I mean,
there it is.
That's when you look at that, it's like that could be the way that you can unlock some really interesting concepts here about how we're moving money, how we're moving value between these chickens.
So when they drop their token, does that mean it's off of Ethereum? It's off and everything is purchased via their token? Is that what that means?
I don't know.
Is it like their own currency essentially?
I would think that a token would be the in-game currency.
Well, see, the funny thing about the token,
like that.
That's what I'd look at it as.
For instance, there's a not to pump anything, but there is a project right. There's a project right now that is a Knights of Degen, and they were trying to fight off gas wars, and they came up with an interesting concept where they had you purchase the mint pass, which gives you essentially a token to then mint that mint that night whenever gas is at a decent rate at your own leisure within a window. So these tokens, they are attached to these blockchains, but they can be a little bit more customizable, where it's like having this token gives me the opportunity to mint this night when the time comes.
Yeah.
So having the token in your wallet gives you the right to X, and that X can be anything. And that's the really cool part about it, is it can really extend into any type of utility you're really looking for, or you think even in real life utility. If it's in your wallet and it's as simple as doing a QR code kind of scan, and boom, it's like, oh, you have it in there. You can do this, and you have access to this thing that we're doing.
First off, yes, Rock Legend Punks, I hope it is called Tendies as well.
It's what?
Tendies, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What if they took that token a step further and it airdropped an exclusive token? So if you break that down, so what if that token could be used to get into exclusive races? So like an all vampire type race or an all classics race, and it's a specific token because you own a classic in your wallet, you got airdropped a classic token or a vamp token or a beak ring token or whatever, stripes, all stripes race or something like that. It's really cool to think about the possibilities there and like how endless they are really, and how I mean, October
how
next
vast
year.
this community could segment,
Oh my
and
gosh.
still be a part of, like, it could still be, it's like, oh, this is the town, but here are the individual places you can go within the town, and that's, yeah.
And just to back up with Dane G, yeah, one race a day would be really, really bad. I do agree with that. But right away in the early beta phase, it may.
But would it?
We got to balance. There's got to be some kind of balance, I would think.
One race a day per chicken.
But also you have to think about the consistency of a chicken. You can't just keep racing it all day.
Right. Well, exactly. I think one race a day per chicken. Now, if you have one chicken, you get to enter one race a day. If you have 20 chickens, you're probably not going to enter 20 races a day unless you got a bunch of time on your hand that day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So
possibly.
I think that and I think they want to get as many different of the 1,000 people in. They don't want just 20 people being the ones that are racing all the birds.
You got to think though, also that most people probably don't have more than, I don't know, like what did Dave Pecking Order Racing brought up in our corporate chat the other day that the amount of wallets that have
most people have
more
under
than
10.
20 birds is like was it less than 1,000 or
It was
300
really
or something
small.
like that? Yeah, and
Really
like
small.
there's people with less than 10 that it's like plus 2,000 or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
the majority
there are
of
small
owners,
wallets
I
out
think,
there.
are racing. Yeah.
So,
but even then,
maybe
if you've got 3
every 12
birds,
hours, or there's definitely going to be a cooldown, you'd think, of some sort, especially early.
I just don't. I don't even see like the first day. I don't think there's going to be 100 races. I think there's going to be like 10 races.
Yeah, we may start really slow, and that's okay. That's
20
fine. As long as
races.
we see the progress as it goes, that's all we really, we're all really worried about.
And you got to jog before you sprint, right?
Did they say whether it was 8 or 12? Have we come to that
too.
conclusion yet?
They haven't said that yet. We're just going based on the 2 different videos.
But if it's 12, I mean, think about it. If there's 20 races, that's a lot of birds being able to run that first day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and let's get on to phase 6 here, the farm, which I love the old little rocket ship right next to it, because that means it's time for blast off, apparently, because a multiplayer metaverse where users can visit the barnyard, socialize with other players, decorate their farm, and show off their prices and collection. This feature will be added as a bonus. The link to our alpha for the farm is available in our announcement channel in Discord. Yeah, so this roadmap pretty much takes you out a year from today. They say a year from today we'll be able to do all of these things, and then the metaverse will become possibly a thing. I for one hope that they are, like we said earlier, under promise, over deliver type. And yeah, I just thought there was some pretty good things to catch in that.
Yeah, and this is just 1 year out. Once it's built, then that's what's really amazing about a well created system. Once it's built, then you can attach things to it and really perfect what you have and get the whole thing humming, get the whole thing running properly. And with this multiplayer metaverse concept, that we can have these ridiculous chickens running around, and you can start customizing what your coop looks like and what the barn looks like. And like we said before, people have done dumber things with their time than run around and mess around in a place like this where you're invested so much into.
I feel like I don't remember whose video it was the other day. Someone dropped a link to it and I checked it out, but they were talking about how a lot of these NFT like projects, they talk about a metaverse, and they were saying how a lot of people don't even know what really a metaverse is, and they probably get fooled because you could easily go on to Google and print out or get an image, and there you go, there's your detail of a metaverse or something. But like, you got to remember, again,
you mean like the internet?
These guys have already made a game where it was pretty much a metaverse. With Ganja Farmer, it was, you had a farm, you could go to other people's farms. I mean, this game they've already got the code essentially for this.
I think a really simple way to say it is just open world concept. And if you're a gamer, you already know what that means. It's just it's just an easier kind of, more locked in way of saying it, calling it the metaverse. It's just a branding, really.
Yep.
But yeah, open world concept where you can just go around and, you know, there are things to do, and there are places where you can step in and have a mission or have a, you know, race or whatever it is. But when you log in, it's like, you know, walking into, that's like, I thought about that because I never got too deep into any of like the World of Warcrafts or any of those type of actual true.
Well, right, and you think about those games; they're still rocking. There's still truthers that play those games avidly.
I had a cousin that had like multiple accounts that he maxed out, and he sold like each one for $3,000, and this was like,
that's absurd.
15 years ago, like it was nuts. Yeah, people just wanted the max account. So yeah, and that was for things that you still couldn't make money on. So, you know, adding that part to it, it just makes so much sense.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, yeah, we're about an hour into this. You guys want to hit on our Serama? We gonna wrap up that mini series. Should we hammer that out quick?
Back to Roy's farm, so Petco
back to Roy's farm, so Petco can name drop themselves in there and. Petco.
That was funny. I saw people in the chat last week talking about Petco, and I'm like, what the hell are these dudes talking about? Now they're going another wildness. I did not hear that. And then when I listened back, I was like, oh, there it is. Son of a Petco. And then I called Petco, and we have a promo code for Petco right here.
Jesus, Murphy. You really sold out, didn't you?
I'm more of a Chewy.com guy. I'm calling them later.
So
yes,
Serama.
Back to Roy's farm to figure out a few more things about Serama here. Our final little wrap up on the 4 different heritages and the ridiculous things about these actual birds we think might matter.
Serama chicken is an ornamental breed originating in the Kelantan state of Malaysia within the last 50 years. It's the smallest chicken breed in the world. That's interesting.
Which that is pretty much right in the tutorial. They're in that's where it says they're pretty much from. Again, we've stated this in the past 4 episodes. That's why we do this. A lot of these things that they've had in the tutorial, we feel that they've pulled straight from the Google machine as far as these are real heritages. There's similarities between these heritages and how they're described in the tutorial. We really think that they could have pulled possibly more from these chickens. So that's why we're kind of going over this, just to give you a background of what the hell a Serama chicken really is in real life.
Yeah, ornamental, very much a show chicken. Again, one of the most revered looking chickens.
A true bantam chicken.
Right, and that's the biggest one I wanted to touch on. I started looking at what does bantam exactly mean. It means that there is no large version of these. By nature, naturally, throughout evolution and time, the Seramas have found a way to stay as a bantam chicken. They only come in the small breed. They are pure. So this makes a lot of sense as why they decided, this is the perfect kind of bird to use as our cream of the crop, if you will. But you know, when you start hearing about that, it's like, oh, they've naturally done this, so their bloodlines are strong. You know, right. So I'm curious as far as like that, you know, as far as breeding goes and where that comes into play. You know, if you can, we were having this discussion with a couple of guys in the Coop Collective earlier. If you can, get your hands on one. You know, don't break the bank for it. Don't, you know, sell the entire coop you have, but if you're looking for one more move during this entry period, I mean, that's where I'd be focusing your time, because there's only 2,000 of them sitting at the spicy level. And, you know, there's always going to be something very, very interesting about the idea of this pure bird.
So here's another thing that I've noticed in this. Because of its proud carriage, it carries itself erect with an upright tail and protruding breast. See, when I read that, I translate that to where they've got that as the best what does it say in the tutorial, that Seramas are pretty much it's racing is in their blood, right?
Right.
They care, like, that sounds like the perfect running,
designed for racing,
designed for racing. Yes,
a new breed from Malaysia that was designed for racing. Yeah,
yeah.
Fast,
it carries
hard to hit.
carries itself erect with an upright tail and protruding breast. So it's like in a proper running stance always.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's ready to rock like that. That's where I see again where it feels like.
And they're smaller, so the idea of being harder to hit because they're a smaller bantam breed, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Seramas are also very friendly and docile, and they're one of the most popular pets in America, which is interesting
because they don't molt.
Look at that comb and waddle, dude.
Yeah.
The cockerels can be aggressive and should not be kept together for avoiding fighting. So that means the males are very aggressive
with each other. Okay.
Yes. The hens lay all year round. They're pretty hardy, although they came from tropical areas.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Yeah.
Friendly. Broodiness is frequent. Combs. Let's see. Climate tolerance, heat. Egg size small. Egg productivity low. That.
I love what Marcus LaFleur just, talking about a Malaysian chicken goes, that chicken looks like it's proud to be an American. It's Malaysian, but he is proud to be an American. Look at that guy. Look at that chest out.
Look at that puffing that chest. Say it with your chest.
Yeah.
But that egg productivity is interesting being low. Again, they did, maybe this is why they specified that the longer the cooldown, the better your bird is. So when I look at egg productivity, that tells me a long cooldown period.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Which means a good bird coming from that Serama, which is going to keep the Seramas still rare, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
they got to do something to keep the populations balanced throughout.
Well, if I can pop out 3 Dorkings in the time that one Serama comes out, you know what I'm saying? Or even 2 Dorkings by the time a Serama comes out.
Right. Because as new people enter this game, they're not going to have, even 8, 10 bird coops like a lot of people do, or 20 or more. They're going to be looking and being like, I need to make a decision now because, as the game progresses, it is going to be a little more challenging to enter and find your way through it. Being early is a gift. So I think that the gamification of all of this is going to be just so much fun, challenging for sure for new people coming in, but hell, that's why we're here. That's why, there's other groups that are hanging around that we'll be getting into that are here to make sure that we can inform the best we can, get people to understand the risks and everything, and maybe have a little bit of an onboarding process so you don't show up and you just end up getting ran off, because we do need to take care of the newbies that come in because we want them to stick around.
Yeah, absolutely. True. Here's something also that I just picked up. So there's no Serama is not a color breed in Malaysia, so there's no standard for this, and the breed can appear in almost any color. I wonder
new colors.
If we could get new colors, when we've talked about this, we've pulled the tinfoil hats out for that. We've discussed it. We've thought how cool it would be. Like I said, I want a tie-dye chicken. I want a tie-dye classic. I want all them colors.
I want a rainbow chicken. Really.
Rainbow chickens.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, well, we're almost wrapping up this thing. I guess we could kick off another chicken giveaway, right?
Oh yeah, just like that.
Another chicken giveaway.
More
people.
Chickens.
And you know what we're all about. We're all about the memes. So starting tomorrow, when Tyler tweets the tweet, we will be doing a meme contest. And so the rules around the meme contest are: you will reply with your meme, follow, like, tag a friend, make sure your meme's on there, and then retweet. And there's a stipulation, since we don't want people just making 30 memes and trying to corner the contest, only one submission will be allowed per user. So
if you do 2, we're giving you the boot.
Yep.
Yeah, me and NBF Express is coming out. I'm going to start being a dick, and I'm going
to
start kicking. Yeah,
hammered down. So one submission.
Make it a good one.
Make it a good one. You've got a whole week. And on Friday, we're going to have the OGs from the Coop Collective go
About
and
20
pick
of us. Yeah.
go and pick their favorite ones and post them in the chat and vote. And then we're going to take the final 2 and pick a live winner on next week's show on Sunday. Oh, yeah. I've got a picture of the last week's winner, Chicken, if you guys want to see that.
Yeah, what we got?
Apex sent me the picture of it. It was like a 92 lac. And
The
it
wild
was the
moss,
wild
right?
moss. Yeah,
Yeah,
wild
not bad.
moss. It's a good looking
Not
bird.
bad at all. That's a decent bird.
Yeah, so
That's a
we ain't
decent
giving away
bird.
no dirt garb chickens.
Yeah,
Small
so-
birds.
But yeah, be creative with the memes. They don't have to have chickens. Like if you saw the ridiculous one that I posted on the Twitter, I saw that like last week. It was a still from the new Venom movie, and for some reason Tom Hardy is clutching a chicken, and it's just like it is perfectly put. And I just remember someone randomly DMing Josh and was like, "I see your good birds aren't on the market." Josh is like, "Yeah, leave me alone. Like, there's a reason for that.
There's a
Weirdo, get
reason
the hell
they're
out of
not
here."
on the market, bud.
So it doesn't, if you want to clip art things into different spots, you want to be funny, you want to be serious, we'll take all kind of considerations, throw it out there, have some fun, be creative.
Yeah, that's a wild, look at that. Nice wild moss lac with 92. Got
Beautiful.
flight. It's a hen. That's a good looking bird. It's got what is that? The shocked eyes, I think. It was the ones where they're wide open. Yeah, it's a good looking chicken.
Wild moss is sexy. Rock
Yes,
Legends
it is.
Punks. I agree. I do like wild moss quite a bit.
What I think is crazy is how in these special coats outside of the dorking, they all have some stripe variation in there, which makes me wonder, like, if you breed it, could it spit out a striped chicken? Maybe. I think we've talked about that earlier too.
Right?
Never know. Tinfoil hats all around.
Crypto King was asking just about, is there a subject for the meme contest? It's
Nope.
caramels.
Stop. No, it's not. It does not have any. There
also
could be no
not
context. Make it funny. Make it as funny as you can. Make it anything.
Chicken derby related.
Yeah, memes
chicken derby
about
related
chicken
thing.
derby chickens.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Caramels.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
like I said, one submission, like, retweet, tag a friend. Make sure your meme is on our tweet tomorrow and throughout the week, and we'll get a couple people picked, and we'll pick a live winner next week. And we can't wait. We love giving away chickens. This is the best part. It's it's fun. So yeah,
I'm looking forward to when we start to be able to breed them and just have a bunch so we can just keep giving away.
yes,
gonna be
we
good
could
times.
make memes about Tyler eating caramel. I'm sure the OGs would love that.
And
I
his
love it.
A birthday meme. Maybe a birthday meme eating caramel.
Yeah, yeah. Give Tyler all the birthday memes you can, please.
I'm about to give up my address so people can just buy these things for me.
Yeah, you accept gifts, right? You
Yeah,
accept birthday gifts.
absolutely.
Oh man. Well, I think we've had your time long enough on this nice late Sunday evening. And hey, it was the first week of football. We're excited for that. I didn't get to watch much of it today. The Packers sucked, so there's that.
Oh my God.
Terrible. Did your guys' teams win? Tyler, I know the Eagles won. You said they're going
Oh yeah,
17-0,
Eagles beat the terrible
so.
Falcons. We're amazing.
Mine
Typical
lost on
Philly
Thursday
fan,
night by a
17-0.
field goal.
What's that?
Mine lost on Thursday night by a field goal.
Oof.
They looked all right though.
Yeah, I forgot you're a
But they're better
Cowboys
than
fan.
expected. That defense has some problems, but they look better than Dak.
So
looked
wait,
great.
can you two
He's-
even be
no, he's
friends
not.
or in this? Because you're Cowboy.
I can be friends with
Yeah.
a cowboy if he
Yeah.
doesn't
I mean,
judge me.
Yeah.
Judge you.
I mean, it's not that hard.
Shouldn't
I
that
mean,
be the other way
it's-
around.
No.
Listen, Philadelphia fans only
I'm gonna
hate
instigate the shit
Dallas
out of
Hey,
it.
Cowboy
and
fans
by
that
the
are
way-
from Philadelphia.
I'm from Oklahoma, and his quarterback is a former OU
he
Sooner.
is,
So,
yeah. It all connects.
and yeah, I'm sure he
Crypto King, you
claims
gotta
OU
use,
rather
buddy.
than Bama, but
Yeah.
you know,
It's only the locals that are like, I hated my dad, so I love the Cowboys, and he loved the Eagles. Like, there's so many people in Philadelphia like that. So we've got a lot of transplant Cowboy fans. They're the ones we can't stand. If you're from the area, whatever.
Yeah, is what it is.
I'm not
you
judging.
can like who you like.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, well, this was the Cock Talk podcast. We've had 10 episodes. I am at Grateful Coops in the Discord chat and on Twitter. And my buddy over there on the left is at Waddle Waddle Racing Coops in the Discord and on Twitter. And MBF Express down on the bottom. We are 3/4 of the Coop Collective, and this was Cock Talk. Hey, if you're still here, like, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter and do all that other fun stuff. We are going to get out of here.
See
Bye.
ya.
Until next time. Bye now.